Welcome to Donington Park Racing Circuit on the national layout for this race on 3rd of August 2026. The conditions are dry, with air temperature at 24 degrees and track temperature at 35 degrees. Williams starts from pole alongside Turkey on the front row, with Pollard and Malat on row 2. Behind them, it is Marcu and Garrett, then Defau and Cav, followed by Case and Lindqvist, Hunt and Aronson, and Russell with Pinheiro on the final row. 14 starters, and the grid is set at Donington Park.
Jake Williams is the obvious reference from pole because 15 poles and 16 wins this season is a ridiculous conversion rate. But this isn't a one-man grid. Aussie Turkey is alongside him, Mikey Pollard starts third and has already won twice at Donington this week, and Jarno Marcu's only fifth, despite coming in as the championship leader. So yes, Jake's the headline, but there's more than enough quality around him here to make that first stint properly uncomfortable.
A lot to look forward to in this race, Aria, as we wait for the red lights now. Williams makes the start and leads the field away. There is an immediate fight for third, with Pollard alongside Malat. Behind them, Russell gets through Aronson for 12th. Mollett is still under pressure here, now running side by side with Marcu for 4th. As the opening lap continues, the top 8 is Williams, Turkey, Pollard, Mollett, Marcu, Garrett, Defau and Cav. Another change just behind that, as Hunt moves past Russell for 11th. Lindqvist now finds a way by Case and takes 9th place. Case hits back later on, clearing Defau to move into 9th. Up front, Williams is still just ahead of Turkey, separated by only about a 10th. That battle at the front is bunching everything up, with Williams heading a 5-car pack. It still is not settled either, because Russell is back in the middle of it, boxed in with Defau and Aronson. Defau claws back past Russell for 11th, but he runs wide out of the final chicane and throws away several places in the process. Now Garrett makes a mistake as well, off the road and down from 6th to 7th, with Cav taking the place. At the front end of the race, Pollard is right alongside Turkey in the battle for 2nd. And all the while, Williams still has Pollard tucked right underneath him at the front. Aria, Defau has gone from P7 to P14. What does that do to his race?
It turns him from an attacking car into a recovery drive immediately, Marc. Rule's usually a front-end runner in this series, but 2 early off tracks have dumped him to the back before lap 3, so now he's lost track position, clean air, and any control over the race. From there, he's reacting rather than dictating.
Back to 4th, Turkey and Marcu are side by side now, as that duel finally reaches the next stage. Marcu makes the move stick and takes 4th away from Turkey. That carries Marcu straight onto the back of Malat, so the pressure shifts immediately onto 3rd place. Defau is still fighting to recover ground and gets back past Pinheiro for 13th. There is a tight three-car group around 6th as well, with Cav heading Garrett and Lindqvist. Defoe keeps pressing on and finds a way past Aronson for 12th. But that midfield fight keeps snapping back, and Aronson comes straight back through on Defoe for 12th. Williams still has Pollard all over him at the front, and this long-running lead fight has not eased for a second. Further back in that same sequence, Marcu still has Turkey glued to him over 4th and 5th. Pollard may be chasing the lead, but Mollett is right there behind him as the front group keeps compressing. Garrett responds well after that off-track moment and retakes 6th from Cav. After all that pressure, Pollard finally gets through and takes the lead from Williams. Williams is vulnerable straight away and Malat goes by him for 2nd. This is superb action behind the leader. 3 abreast between Mollett, Williams and Marcu. And with all that unfolding, Turkey is right back onto Mollett in the fight for 3rd. In the lower top 10, Russell gets through Hunt for 10th. The scrap behind Pollard is still chaotic. Williams back in the middle of another 3-wide moment with Malat and Marcu. Williams is still hanging on too, right alongside Malat as their fight refuses to settle. And it changes shape again, with Malat now sandwiched between Turkey and Marcu in another 3-car flashpoint. Marcu still has Turkey firmly in tow as that 4th place contest keeps simmering away. This time Marcu completes the move and takes 3rd from Molat. And Hunt answers Russell back, reclaiming 10th in their ongoing battle. Just behind the new leader, 4 cars are still packed together around 2nd, with Williams, Marcu, Malat and Turkey all in the shot. Even this late in the section, Malat still cannot relax because Turkey is right there behind him for 4th. The group around 6th remains tightly stacked as Garrett leads Cav and Lindqvist at the tail end of the sequence. Russell gets back through on Hunt for 10th. In a scrap that has been changing hands again and again. Williams hangs on to 3rd for the moment, but Mollett is tucked in right behind him. Cav completes the move on Garrett for 6th after reeling him in over the last few laps. Turkey and Malat are wheel to wheel now, that contest for 4th really boiling over. Marcu has the place for 2nd, but Williams is still right there and refusing to let this settle. Up front, Pollard still has that pressure building behind him, with Marcu and Williams locked together just off his tail. Now it is Pollard, with Marcu closing in behind for the lead, and Marcu's run forward has carried him right to the front. And just behind them, fourth on back is tightly stacked as Turkey heads Malat, Cav, Lindqvist and Garrett through this pack. Marcu still has second, but only just, with Williams filling the mirrors all the way. Turkey continues to hold fourth from Malat, while Malat is still under heavy pressure in this group. Defoe comes past Russell for 10th, another place gained in a strong charge forward. Pollard remains just ahead, but Marcu is right there now, and this is a proper fight for the lead. That front group has not stretched at all either, with Pollard still trying to keep Marcu and Williams behind him. Aria, this front fight just keeps coming back together. It has been properly intense.
It's been brilliant because it keeps changing shape without ever breaking up. Pollard's made that move and controlled it, but Marcu's fastest lap so far has dragged him right back in, and even Williams, despite those little errors, is still right there. Three top-level drivers, covered by tenths, all asking different questions of each other.
Still no breathing room for Marcu in second because Williams is latched right onto him. Mollett is hanging on to fifth for now, but Cav has closed right onto the back of it. Turkey remains ahead in fourth, with Malat still close enough to keep the pressure there. Pollard still leads, but Marcu is right on him, and the fight at the front is as tight as ever. Marcu makes the move and takes over at the front. That immediately leaves Pollard under pressure, with Williams right on him for second. And look at the way this is bunching up now. Marcu leading a three-car fight at the front, with Pollard and Williams tucked in behind. Further back, Malat is still hanging on to fifth, but Cav is close enough to keep that battle alive. Ahead of them, Turkey is trying to hold fourth with Malat still right there in pursuit. Russell gets through on Defoe and takes 10th place. And the fight for second erupts, Pollard and Williams running side by side. Williams follows it up straight away and gets past Pollard for second. Now Williams turns his attention to the front, with Marcu still just ahead in the fight for the lead. The top three remain tightly stacked, Marcu ahead of Williams, with Pollard still very much in touch. Top 8 update: P1 Marcu, P2 Williams, P3 Pollard, P4 Turkey, P5 Cav, P6 Molat, P7 Lindqvist, P8 Garrett. Current fastest lap is 1:11.908 by Garrett. Defoe answers back and retakes 10th from Russell. At the front, Marcu continues to hold Williams behind, but the pressure is still there. Williams cannot relax either, because Pollard is still close behind in the battle for second. It is still a three-car contest at the head of the field, with Marcu trying to keep Williams and Pollard covered. Marcu remains in front, with Williams still close enough to threaten. And just behind them, Williams still has Pollard shadowing him for second place. Garrett goes through on Lindqvist and takes 7th place. That fight around 4th is still tightly packed, with Turkey leading Cav, Molat, Garrett and Lindqvist in one queue. Aria, this group just refuses to break apart. It has been relentless.
It has, because nobody in that pack's been clean enough or quick enough to escape the others. Turkey has dropped into it from the front row. Cav keeps hanging on with proper pace. Garrett and Lindqvist are close enough to keep asking questions. And even Molat's still in the picture despite the contact. It's been elbows out stuff.
Williams makes the move and takes over the lead. Russell gets past Defoe and picks up 10th. Marcu and Pollard are side by side now in that scrap for second. Aronson answers back and retakes 13th from Hunt. They are still alongside one another. Marcu and Pollard absolutely locked together. Out front, Williams has Pollard right with him as the pressure stays on. This lead fight still has no breathing space. Williams leading a three-car cluster with Pollard and Marcu. Mollett's race is over, disqualified after collecting that final incident point. The battle for fourth keeps rolling on. Turkey still at the head of Cav, Garrett and Lindqvist. Mollett is already out of the race at this stage after that disqualification. White flag for Williams, 1 lap remaining with the chase still very much alive behind. Hunt gets back through on Aronson and takes 12th this time. Garrett clears Cav and moves up into 5th. Defoe comes back at Russell and reclaims 9th place. Turkey still holds 4th, but Garrett is right there applying the pressure. Aronson fights back again and takes 12th away from Hunt. Up front, Williams continues to lead, with Pollard still close enough to keep this tense. Williams gets it done and wins from pole. And look at the rush behind. 2nd through 7th all arriving together, with Garrett taking fastest lap as well. Case comes home in 8th. Fow and Russell complete that next pair across the line in 9th and 10th. Pinheiro follows them through to finish 11th. Aronson and Hunt are next to the flag together in 12th and 13th. That wraps it up, a race that stayed lively all the way to the finish.
Jake Williams had to work for that one, Marc. He converted pole again, which is no surprise given the season he's having, but Mikey Pollard from 3rd made him earn every inch and finished less than 3/10 back after leading 7 laps himself. Jarno Marcu did exactly what a championship leader does, coming through from 5th to 3rd and staying in the fight all the way. Aussie Turkey couldn't quite cash in from the front row. Roel Defoe's race unravelled early, and Hans Mollett went from 4th on the grid to a disqualification, which was a brutal swing.